Okay, do any of you ladies would like to be married one day?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say you're in a relationship with a man, right? And you guys been in a relationship for about like 3 years. And, you know, you guys want to be married to him, right? What is he going to gain from marrying you that he's not gaining from being in a relationship with you?
Good question. Let's start with you. We started over here last time, so start with you.
What's he gonna gain?
Yeah, so you guys are already in a relationship for about like 3 years, and you want to marry him. So what is he going to gain from marrying you that he's not getting from being in a relationship with you?
Question. Yeah, hold on. I got to think about this. Yeah.
You got to think about it?
Yeah.
Do you want to be married?
Eventually. Yeah.
If you don't want to be married, that's fine. I'm not looking for a right or
quick
wrong
show of hands. Who
answer.
wants to be married?
I mean,
If you know,
Me personally, right?
Well, you already engaged. Okay,
Right.
cool.
yeah.
So all of y'all want to be married, right? So his question is like, so if you want something, what's going to be different besides him just being in a relationship with you? But when he gets on one knee and proposes to you, and there's a marriage, like what is he going to get differently from just being in a committed relationship with you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, me personally,
how about this? Answer this first. Why do you want to get married? Oh, and that's just for all of you ladies too. Why do you want to get married?
Yeah, we can start there.
I just feel like that's just like the ideal way, I guess, and that's just how I feel. I just feel like I want to be married.
Yeah. I just want your personal opinion. Everybody's opinion might be different, but specifically for you, not for all women, why do you want to be married?
Because I just want to feel that love, and like I feel like it's a different type of love and energy when you're married.
Okay. Oh, real quick. It's a different type of love and energy when you're married. Okay. What about if you in a relationship, he's already protecting and providing for you. He's already doing everything for you, but there's just no ring and no paper. What would be different other than a ring and paper?
The relationship.
It solidifies it?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What about you? Well, you're engaged.
Yeah,
what was your question then? So this is a good question for you then. So you're in a relationship. You've been in a relationship with him for 3 years, you said?
No.
How many years?
Like 7.
Like 5.
Like 5 years. Okay, cool. You've been in a relationship.
It's been a little rough in the beginning, but
no worries. You've been in a relationship with him for 5 years.
Okay.
So you about to get married. You're already engaged.
Yes.
What are you going to give him differently than you're not giving him now? What's going to be different?
I think that when marriage happens, that's when we can kind of like, do the whole bank accounts and the babies and the house and.
So are you guys not doing that now?
No. We live together, yes, but
no babies.
We're not on no.
Yeah, not on a lease together.
Yeah, we're not on anything together.
Okay.
So I just feel like when marriage comes, then we can do the bank accounts together. We could do, we could get the house together. We can have the babies.
So that's going to be different. So then, so you'll have some babies. That's one big difference. What else is he going to get from you that he's not already getting from you now besides babies? And babies is a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we do what we need to do now. I feel like I don't know what would be different. We cook, we clean, we go out together.
You already do it now?
Having sex, we doing everything.
Okay. What about you?
I don't know.
What would a man get differently from you? From a relationship to marriage, being with you? Would it be the same? Or would you do some extra stuff when you're married?
Well, I guess first he'd be entitled to everything, like half of everything I own, and I own.
And vice versa.
Everything. So that's big in my life. Babies. I'm not having any more children until, So that's also big. And also I just think once you're married, you get in this different mindset. You're more motivated to be successful together as a partnership. And, I want to start businesses with my husband and, but that's not happening until You know?
Okay. So really nothing besides kids then. And
Yeah.
how old are you?
32.
32. Well, it's time clicking as far as you could produce
You're
out
telling
kids.
me.
How much time, girl?
You
You're
ain't got that
telling
much
me.
time if you want to give a man kids. Besides kids, because your time is ticking. It's about to run out. So besides kids, what if you can't give them kids? What are you going to give them?
Hypothetical. Just hypothetical.
Hypothetically. Yeah.
Wealth.
Wow. You got money. You
You
balling?
think a man looks
I have a
for
trust
money?
fund.
Oh, you have a trust fund from
Yeah.
your family.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you think like men like look for money? Like it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry her for the bag.
That's the thing, because for years, so I've been in steady relationships since 2008. Only been single since that time for about 6 months, you know, except for this. Okay, that's not true. 2008 to 2023, I was single between that time for 6 months.
Yeah.
Then I was single from 2023 to, I guess I'm still single, I guess, now. So, yeah, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the question is like, well, you said that, well, I have a trust fund.
Yeah.
So, you know, but like when do you get that trust fund? Who has to die for you to get that trust fund? Or is it,
Well,
or
my
is it
mom
already, like,
died,
there?
but my dad is about to die. And
Sorry for your
that's
loss.
how I get that. But I already have access.
Oh, okay. How much is in that trust fund? Homies
What-
in the chat may want to slide.
What
You know?
would you like to know? Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. So during my relationships, I supported every relationship. I paid the rent. I bought the houses. I paid the cars.
You broke
know?
up with those guys?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the reason why. Because
Yeah.
you paid for the car.
Everything.
You paid for everything. So this is what I'm
So
trying to
looking
tell
for
you.
something different.
Yeah. So like if we're like having an honest conversation, you really don't want to be the provider. You don't
No.
want to wear the boxers.
Absolutely
In a
not.
relationship. So if you meet a man and you get married to him, the man is going to be providing because that's the man that you're going to say yes to, if we're being honest, right?
Yeah.
So a man that's a provider, he doesn't really care about a woman that's making a bag. So
Right.
your trust fund means nothing to him.
Right.
Right. So in that situation, let's just excuse trust fund and let's take out babies. What does this man get differently, you know, from relationship to marriage?
I said the mindset. Right?
Mindset. Well, what's special about the mindset? They all got mindsets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but just when you get older and you settle down, just things change.
They're gonna get older too.
You know?
They're gonna settle down.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
gonna change for them
I'm
too.
talking about everyone. I'm not talking about.
Okay. All right. Well, this is telling. Okay, cool. What about you, Gianna?
Wow, I've been pondering this question. I think it's about solidifying each other's commitment. And I don't know, it's something more when you get married. You're taking, you know, your husband's name. It's different. I guess like from growing up Catholic and, you know, you go to the church and you're two coming into one. So it's special on that level. So I wouldn't say I would necessarily be giving something different, but it's about us making vows to each other and being together till we die. So.
Okay. All right. You kind of danced around the question. It wasn't really, but it's okay. I mean, everyone danced
my
around the
actions
question.
wouldn't be different because I'm still gonna love you, and I'm probably gonna love you even more with solidifying the commitment. So
Fair enough. What about you,
Yeah.
Denise? You 39 years old, Shelly's age, right? You should know. Oh, you
Don't
almost
age
did.
her. That's crazy.
38.
38. You had time to think about this. What's on your mind?
All right, so we just spoke about this. I'm not young anymore, so it's more like security. It's more of like an example was one of my brother's best friend passed, and they were a year. It was a year before his best friend was to get married, and his fiance, even though they were living together, she was not allowed to stay in the hospital room, and this is in Jersey.
Okay.
Because they weren't married, only family, even though she was his lady for how many years, they were
Okay.
not married. And so she lost that opportunity to be with her fiance. And it kind of, for me, I've always thought of marriage, well, it is, I don't want government to interfere in my relationship. I don't think a government should be the one saying, okay, this is legal, and this is something I pondered myself. I asked my pastor, like, what's the difference? What if I just want to get married in the church, not have the government involved? I just want to get, because it is a promise to God. It's a vow that you make before him, until death do us part. So why should the government be involved? When did this happen? So for me, that's when the conspiracy and the little rabbit hole.
It's definitely, marriage is a covenant between a man and a woman and the church and God.
Correct.
So really, the government, they put their fingers in it now, but you could be spiritually married to someone.
Correct, and that's what I prefer. To me personally, when I was with my son's father, but when my brother's best friend, when that death came, I was like, I don't want to ever experience that. I don't. And if you're together and you're investing time and money, you're investing, and then something happens to your partner and you have no access to it just because of that, that kind of made me think a little different. But for me, I would love to get married so I can have that security and be that with that one person, invest my time, my energy, and grow old with that person.
Fair enough. What about you, 22?
22.
22.
I just feel like marriage is a big thing, and me personally, I wouldn't want to get married till I'm fully sure that I want to be with that person. Because people go through divorces and all that. I want to marry one person, so it's like,
you young.
Yes, I am.
Do you think that? When would you want to get married? Do you think that? I just got a question for you, since you're the youngest one on the panel. Mm-hmm. Do you think that you have the highest value now to get married in a man's eyes, or you would have higher value later in your life? Later. In a man's eyes, later. About what age do you think that you'll be your most valuable self?
To a man.
35.
35.
I feel like that's the age where you're supposed to have, not supposed to, but your life is right now I'm still trying to get my life together. I'm still going through that, what I want to do for real.
Okay, cool. I got you, Ease. When you got your question, you could do it next. So, okay, in regards to that, so you said that, 35 years old, that's where you'll be your most valuable self. Cool. Do you think that a man, so let's just think about value, what a man values, right? You're 22. Mm-hmm. Do you think men value youth and beauty?
I feel like, no.
Men don't really value that? Okay, what do you think that men value?
I feel like they value, someone put together and beauty.
Put together will be youth.
Yeah, no.
When you're 35, you lose 80% of your eggs. You ain't put together. You falling apart.
Personally, my mother had another child at 36. It's just a high risk pregnancy.
High risk. Well, high risk for the mother and also high risk for the baby, meaning that the probability increases for autism and stuff like that.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if we're looking at it logically, you're saying that, 35 is that age where I would want to be married. I think that's when I'll be my most valuable self.
Okay, then.
But you're 22.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're going to go back then.
Okay.
Being 35 is not most valuable if we're looking at it as in having kids.
If we're looking at it from having kids for yourself from a biological standpoint and also from the man's standpoint, what does a man want from a woman?
I don't know what a man wants from a woman.
You don't know?
You don't?
Okay, we can get to that then. We'll get to that. Thank you for being honest. Okay, cool.
Nicole?
You can actually, finish answering your question. What's going to change when you get married?
I feel like nothing.
She's like, nah.
I feel like it's just the commitment. If you're, the man makes the decision whether he wants a woman or not. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's the man's decision. He decides whether, y'all been together long enough to make the decision. All right, this is the woman I want to be with. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, cool. So really nothing is going to change. You're going to still do the same thing.
I feel like the commitment is just the change. That's just a whole nother commitment.
Got it. So nothing's going to change. Same process. What about you?
I think for me, being that I value my religion highly and my Christianity highly, I think a little bit differently. Not saying that either way is right or wrong, but I was previously engaged and I was starting to plan a wedding with somebody.
Yeah.
And I sent him walking because I wanted more value for my life. So I turned to God, and now I'm in church and reading the Bible. Your values change a little bit. And I think for me and myself, I want a shorter dating period. Not saying that I think he'll gain more when we're married, in the sense that at that point, once you marry somebody, you're not... Okay, here. Let me dial it back.
What do you mean by shorter dating period?
I don't think that you need to date somebody for 7 years to decide if you want to marry them or not. Yeah. I don't think it should take that long. Because, and I'm not saying like having kids before marriage is wrong. I'm just saying, like, if you already know and you're one with God, you call each other higher to be closer to God together. That is your partnership. Yeah. Your best friendship over anything else. And so you're choosing that person for the rest of your life. It shouldn't take that long. I think you should know, you do know when you know. I don't think it takes much working, maybe like a year's time.
So to get back to the question then, so, you know, what value would the man get versus a regular relationship and marriage?
Right. So again, with that and like living together, I don't want to live with my spouse until we're at least engaged. Okay. That's just how I see it, because whoever you're living with, friends, you know, family members, or even if you're still living at home, you only get that until you're married. So soak that up with your family members. And then you make that commitment and move on together to build a home together. And that's just how I see it. I don't know.
So
I
for you, you're holding back on the whole moving in process and stuff like that. So you're going to save that when you get married. So you're saying like, well, yeah, that's something that's going to be different. Yeah. Okay, cool. You had a follow-up question with this?
Yeah, give me, so, all right. So if all of you ladies, you don't want to be married, then, you know, why do you think, because the majority of marriages are ending in divorce, and it's the women filing for divorce. You know what I'm saying? So why are women, you know, so big on getting married, but as soon as they get married, they're ending the divorce in 3 to 5 years? Because that's how long the marriages are lasting, especially in the U.S. I'm not talking about any other countries. You know, because, you know, when a man falls in love, he's all in, you know, thick and thin, good and bad. But, you know, the majority of the time it's the women that are filing for divorce. So if women want marriage, why are they ending it so soon? You know, because no man wants to get married to you guys and just for it to be ending in 3 to 5 years. You know what I mean?
Generally speaking, he's
generally
talking
speaking,
about,
not just not.
So think about it this way, ladies. Like it's telling, because, you know, probably all of you here, all 7 of you, he asked you a question, you know, what benefit does the man get from a relationship to marriage? So the man isn't really incentivized to really, you know, marry the woman. Think about this. Like, say if you was working at a position, working for a company, right? And you were a regular floor support. But, you know, when you became a manager, you just got more responsibilities, but no higher pay. So it's like, we're not even incentivized to get that title, but we have more responsibility when we get that title. Not only that, when we get that title, you have the ability to get a divorce and take half of what we own. So it's like, say a guy that's working at, you know, he's working at a call center or something. He's floor support. And then the manager comes up, well, the owner of the company is like, you know what? I'm going to promote you to manager. We got a position open. Do you want this position? So that's he's getting on. It's like compared to a man marrying a woman. And I mean, the man marrying a woman. And then, you know, the employee is like, okay, well, what's the benefits? And then the manager, the owner of the company is like, there's no benefits. You'll have more responsibilities. You have to take care of this. You'll have to stay even later and do all of these things. But your pay rate is still going to be only $20 an hour. That employee is going to be like, well, no, I'll just keep this position here, right? I'll keep this position here and make the same money and do less rather than doing more. So that's the thing. Like, women, you want something, so you should think, right, to actually get what you want. So the man is incentivized to actually get on one knee and marry you. Make sense? So if you like that clip and you want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.